Listen,
Yeah.
this guy was on last week, and he got our friend John Ritchie all in a tussle because he wrote a book called The Fix Is In, and John was saying that football at least can't be fixed, and he was arguing that it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the show, he emailed us that I hated to tell this on the air because John was getting mad, but the last known Super Bowl to be fixed, in fact, was the Super Bowl John played in first.
What?
Was Tampa Bay and Oakland. John on the losing side.
This has got to be. This is a joke.
So John fixed the Super Bowl. Is that what we're saying?
No that way! Super Bowl was fixed. We lost by what was the score?
I was a 78-2.
It was seriously.
No, that was a long. Listen. I bet you guys, by the way, at the Mirage Sportsbook in Vegas. So let's talk about that. Brian Tuohy.
Yeah.
What's up?
I can't wait to hear this.
How you guys doing tonight?
Brian, all right.
Man.
Now explain yourself. John is livid.
Yeah.
He played in the game. John, first of all, there's no way you had anything to do with fixing the Super Bowl.
No.
Right.
No, none.
Do you think? Before we get to Brian, I know you now. You're so competitive and you have a lot of integrity. Can you see any circumstance or scenario that would get you to throw a football game? Forget the Super Bowl. I mean, do you think anything could get you to do it?
I don't know. I mean, if we're talking dollar amounts,
yeah.
I don't know. No one. I don't think anyone would ever. Geez, I think anyone's got a price, right?
Okay, all right, well, so you're arguing Brian's point right now.
I know.
A box set of Game of Thrones. John's in.
No, I'm saying it would have to be pretty exorbitant, and
well, that's some guys
and I would never ever forgive myself for doing it. If in a moment of weakness I let this happen,
yeah.
I would never ever forgive myself.
Well, Brian, that's sort of arguing your point. It sounds like he let the floodgates open when he.
No, What are the specifics? What are the
book,
specifics of this here, Brian?
Explain this, Brian.
Well, no, I didn't write to your producer and said I thought that was the last Super Bowl that was fixed. I kind of said, I know John asked me at the last interview when was the last time a football game I thought might have been fixed, and I wanted to say that just almost as a joke, just to kind of set him off. But I didn't want to set him too far off, so I kind of pulled back and stopped myself. But I mean,
but you believe it was fixed?
If you look at that game, I mean, if you look at the game you played in, I mean, as a gambler,
why are we talking to you, Brian?
No,
but as a gambler, as a sports gambler, if you looked at that game before kickoff, and we knew then what we know now about this game. We know
the center,
Barrett Robbins, whatever happened to him, he kind of flipped out. Friday night disappeared.
I gambled on this game, by the way. I had big money. I had 10 for me at the time. At any time, I had 10 G's on the Raiders.
We were heavily favored.
Like I say, think about this now. You got Barrett Robbins flipped out. You have the fact that both Tim Brown and Jerry Rice now has come out and said that the coach Callahan changed the game plan 48 hours ahead of time and changed it from a run-heavy offense to a pass-heavy offense. It might have been one of the influencing factors that caused Barrett to.
I have someone from the offense here. Marshall McLuhan, you know nothing about his work.
Brown said.
Oh, listen.
I'm telling you what Tim Brown said, not what I said.
No, listen, I was there, and we did practice something all week where we were going to get heavy personnel-wise, and we were going to run basically our short yardage and goal line run plays in the middle of the field, because we were bigger than them. We could grind it out. We could pound the smaller Tampa Bay defense. That was the plan. And we came into the game, and we were doing that. When we got our first 15 plays, in those first 15 plays, we had the game plan that we had practiced interspersed with the first 15 plays. It was not changed 48 hours before the game. It was abandoned.
That's what Jerry Rice said.
No, well, he's saying it was abandoned during the game. As soon as we were, I don't know, into the first quarter.
Actually, I think, didn't Tim Brown say Callahan sabotaged it? Is what he said.
Yeah,
quote.
and everyone else said that how could that be possible? Jeez.
But on top
why
of that,
in the world would he do that?
Rich Gannon was in constant contact with your former coach, John Gruden. And Mike Freeman wrote in his book, Bloody Sundays, that Gannon and Gruden were talking really the week of the Super Bowl, and that Gruden knew you guys hadn't changed any of your audibles, or most of your audibles. He knew he was practicing as Gannon in practice for the Buccaneers defense, And John Lynch was caught during the game on microphone saying, "We know what plays are running before you guys run them."
How
They
does that?
did
Wait,
know.
wait.
They
Explain
did
that
know.
better. Gannon was talking to Gruden.
No, I mean, listen, you're in the same city. You're doing the same media tour as
Right.
the other team. I mean,
Right.
you're going to be interacting at some point if you're one of the big features of the team.
But when you interact,
i.e.
do
the
you give the
quarterback
game
or
plan
the
away?
no. I mean, of course, Gruden knew our offense. He put
That
our
makes
offense
sense
in.
to me, right? Yeah.
He knew Rich Gannon's likes and dislikes and tendencies and exactly what every play was called and how we called it and a lot of the signals and that sort of thing.
Really? Well, a
So
lot of,
in
I mean,
practice,
my God, that's a lot to know about.
It is a lot.
Exactly. And I think if you were
Which
a
makes-
gambler and you knew all that information before kickoff on Sunday, you would have bet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all day long. You would have mortgaged your house and bet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's
I think
why it
if
would have
you
been
guys-
great if we would have gone off the deep end and done what we were planning on doing, pound the ball down their throat with our short yardage goal line packages. That would have worked. I am convinced. And I don't know why they abandoned it, but it didn't happen 48 hours before.
Because what you're
it
saying-
was Bill Callahan panicking in the moment.
Because
in
what
the
you're
game.
saying is you had a similar situation with the Seahawks defense had, where it's like, I don't care if you know what we got. We're going to physically beat you.
Exactly.
I don't care if you know what we have.
Absolutely.
I don't care
mean,
if Gruden
people-
knows. We're going to physically beat you. You can't beat us
Right.
even if you know it, which the Seahawks just did.
Listen, we ran one play in short yardage. On 3rd and 1, we ran one play. On the goal line, we ran one play. 14 and 15 blast. Every team knew it. Every team knew that we would go to that. It was me, lead ISO on the inside backer, backside guard pulling, inserting in the hole. I mean, we ran that every time.
Right.
We ran that every time with success. The one time we didn't have success was in that Snow Bowl game.
Okay.
And it ended up costing us.
Right.
But
Did the snow?
that's the thing.
Did the snow help ruin that?
No, they had a scheme that we practiced, and then we did not execute the blocking scheme the way we practiced it during the week.
All right.
But here's every team knows what you're going to run to a certain degree. It's not rocket science. Football's
yeah,
football.
because
Every
they
team
lo-
has the same
they
plays
look
for
at
the
your
most
old
part.
games, yeah.
So that it wasn't that big a deal. But Gruden was practicing all week, being the quarterback, doing exactly the way Rich would do. His impression. When we were out there on the field, we could hear the Buccaneers saying, "All right, it's 322 Y stick, 322 Y." They were calling out our plays,
That's
which
hilarious.
was a little
what I'm saying
unsettling.
is, you guys were doomed. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean that
Well-
game was fixed.
Unless you shut. No, it doesn't. Of
Here's
course,
the-
it doesn't mean it's fixed at all.
Here's the thing. I mean, if we execute and do what we plan to do, we were not doomed. That's the catch here.
Right, exactly.
If
you
we
just
played
if you're
better-
capable of just physically shoving it down their throat, you
Yeah.
can win anyway.
Yeah.
That's what John's saying, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
But
I understand that. But again, like I say, I mean, if you knew all this stuff ahead of time, I think as a gambler, you would basically say this game was a done deal before it kicked off.
yeah, clearly I didn't get that information.
That gives you a huge
Neither did
advantage,
I.
and that's what these gamblers do. I mean, that's what professional gamblers seek out. They seek out that sort of inside information on
Yeah, just
games,
like
on
Wall
players,
Street
on
guys.
coaches,
Yeah.
and they profit from it.
It's the same thing. Wall Street does it every day. It's all a bunch of crap.
Hey, are the Olympics fixed?
There have been events that have been, definitely. I'm not saying anything here has,
Definitely?
but I mean, they just actually had a scandal where supposedly, and it's all been debatable, where was it the United States and Russian ice skating judges were supposedly in cahoots to stop the Canadian team. which
I'm not going to
happened
sit here and let you
a
say that,
couple
pal.
Before. But
You're
it's
not-
happened before the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, the Summer Olympics were rife with fixes. They really were. I mean, there was badminton being thrown. There was swimming races, I think. There was boxing matches. I mean, the fact of the matter is when you get into sports, unfortunately, there's money on the line, and wherever money seems to go, corruption seems to follow. And that's the big thing I try to point out is the fact that there is corruption in sports. There's corruption in professional sports, and the problem is too many fans look at it as being pure. And I understand their want for it to be pure. I understand that they want it to be entertainment. They want it to be an escape. But the fact of the matter is because they have that mindset, and because really in reality they are to a certain extent addicted to sports because of the high it can give them, I think the leagues take advantage of that and manipulate things and manipulate the fans to get the most money out of their pockets they possibly can.
It's a business. Everything's cynical. Nothing's pure. Everything sucks. Everyone's a criminal. Brian, thanks for being here. And I like the book, quite frankly. The fix is in.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. Okay?
No problem.
Yeah, good luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, Brian Tuohy, and we'll talk to you another time, brother, all right?
Sounds good, man.
Okay, again, the fix is in. When we come back, we'll talk to Tim who, Mike? Tim Doyle.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.